The movie is centered around a married couple, Josh and Sophia, who are both healthcare workers and have just arrived in Colombia for a conference. Although at first glance they seem like a healthy couple, they are currently on the verge of a divorce because of differences they have grown over the years. However, the couple is yet to reveal this to their mutual friend Marcos, who they would now be working with. An oblivious Marcos books one single room for them at the hotel, unaware that they don't feel comfortable sharing a room together anymore. This instantly proves to be a bad idea because they fall into another argument as soon as they are left alone. Sophia storms out of the room and they continue to ignore each other until the time arrives to dine with their friend. The atmosphere remains awkward even during the dinner, and Marcos picks up on the fact that there is something going on between the couple. Josh finally reveals that he and Sophia have decided to split, then quickly changes the topic to their hiking plan for tomorrow in an attempt to ease the tense mood. Come next morning, Sophia decides to join the hike in an attempt to relax, but Marcos has canceled the plan last minute, and now it is just her and Josh. Although she is reluctant to spend time with him, Josh is able to convince her to take him along because of all the dangers that come with hiking alone at an unknown place. They pack their bags and soon head out after consulting the receptionist about their destination. The receptionist reveals a map and shows them a long and winding path. There is a clear shortcut drawn in the map, which he strongly discourages them from taking, as it is so dangerous that even the locals tend to avoid it. Josh is confident in his hiking skills to travel safely through the shortcut, but Sophia dissuades him because she doesn't want to deal with snakes that the area is popular for. The couple then gets out of the car and begins the climb. They go through the overgrown forest while enjoying their time in nature, when Josh suddenly spots storm clouds headed towards their direction. He doesn't want to get caught up in the storm, so he convinces Sophia to end their hike and head back together. However, they spot another bit of trouble as they reach their car when they see a man trying to break into it. The couple acts quick and hides for a while before Josh steps out of their hiding place and goes to confront the thief. This proves to be a mistake when the thief pulls out his gun. Josh tries to gain the upper hand and hits the thief first. Seizing this opportunity, Josh and Sophia make a mad dash into the forest as they are being chased by bullets. Sophia resents her husband for trying to play the hero, but this is no time for another one of their arguments. The rain starts pouring down as their pursuer is getting closer every second. Right then, they make a decision to run along the path that the receptionist had warned them about, believing that their pursuer would be too scared to enter the area. In their haste to run away, they get separated from each other, and Sophia ends up hitting her head. This makes her dizzy and uncoordinated, so she accidentally falls into quicksand while trying to search for Josh. The quicksand is deep and thick from the rain, and it's also a great metaphor for her relationship, and Sophia is unable to pull herself out of it. She soon starts to panic and cries for Josh. Thankfully, he is able to hear the sound of her voice and comes running to help her. He stretches his hand to pull her out, but it doesn't work, so he finds a branch nearby and tries to get Sophia to hold the other end. Although it is long enough to reach her, it is quite flimsy as it quickly breaks off, making her panic even more. She starts struggling, which makes her sink deeper into the quicksand until she gets engulfed completely. Josh becomes terrified and jumps after her, not caring about his life. Somehow, he manages to get Sophia's head out of the quicksand, and she can finally breathe. Josh has managed to save her life, but now they are both stuck in a deserted place with no one to help them. For now, Josh tells Sophia to stay still because the more she moves, the deeper she will sink. He has some knowledge about quicksand thanks to the many guidebooks he has read, but it is frustrating that he cannot remember how to get out of it. While calmly trying to analyze the situation, Sophia notices an egg lying on top of the quicksand without sinking. This gives her an idea. If she pulls up her body to lie flat above the mud, she might be able to increase the surface area of her body. Then she could possibly float above the quicksand. Josh is skeptical, but she insists on giving it a shot. As she tries to wiggle out her leg, she feels something inside the mud. She grows afraid and asks Josh to help her pull out whatever it is. It is not a log or an animal like she had thought it was, but the dead body of a man who has the signs of starving to death. Josh's previous reassurance about quicksand not being lethal is quickly proven false, and now both of them have realized the gravity of the situation. The corpse is found carrying a backpack, so the couple pull it out and push the body back in, unable to keep staring at the face of a dead man. They find mostly random stuff inside the bag, like a book, a harmonica, a broken flashlight, a knife, a shotgun with 2 rounds left, foreshadowing, and so on. The most useful thing is the backpack itself. Josh has the idea of cutting the bag into strips with the knife and making it into a lasso in order to grab the tree stump behind them. Sophia is not confident in the idea, but they have no choice but to try if they want to have a chance to escape. Back inside the hotel, Marcos is feeling a little uneasy about his friend's absence. He has heard the voicemail that Josh left informing him of the couple's hike, but he can't help but have a bad feeling about the whole thing. His hunch is proven correct when he sees a shabby man walk into the hotel carrying Sophia's backpack. It is the thief that was chasing after the couple. Marcos walks up to the man to confront him when he sees a large blood stain on his chest and quickly puts the pieces together. He attacks the thief and tackles him to the ground when he starts to flee. This causes the gun to slip out of the thief's clothes, and Marcos grows frantic. He is about to attack him once again, but the hotel employees swiftly intervene to break up the fight and capture the both of them. At this time, inside the forest, Sophia and Josh have managed to make a rope out of the backpack and are trying to hook it on a tree stump. But unfortunately, Josh is not Indiana Jones, and the rope is just too short. Just as they are starting to get frustrated, a ray of hope comes shining in the form of a helicopter. It flies right over their heads, and they scream and wave to try to get its attention, but to no avail. The trees are simply too dense for the people inside the helicopter to spot them. Josh has given up trying to get its attention, but Sophia is still reluctant to let this opportunity pass. She desperately tries to light a fire to signal the helicopter, but everything around them is too wet to catch fire. In her last attempt, she even tries to light the makeshift rope on fire, but Josh firmly refuses to let her do so. If they light up the rope and the helicopter still doesn't see them, then they would truly be stranded. The rope is their last hope. While they are arguing, the helicopter disappears from the sky, and all the fight leaves from their bodies. Helplessly, Sophia asks Josh if they could cut off their jackets to make the lasso longer, but he disagrees because it might cause them to freeze to death. Even then, he tries to remain hopeful that Marcos will save them, but it is a hard thing to accomplish in the face of Sophia's pessimism. Suddenly, Sophia starts to feel something biting her, and she panics. Ants have somehow crawled up to her shoulder and are ruthlessly biting her, leaving red rashes on her skin. Hearing her scream, Josh quickly hands her a bottle of vodka and instructs her to pour it on her shoulder. Thankfully, the alcohol acts as an insect repellent, and Sophia is able to free herself from their sting. After the situation dies down, she glances at the vodka bottle that Josh had handed her and comes to a realization. If she takes a swig of this stuff, it'll work as a repellent for the insect known as Josh. She had thought that he was sober, but Josh confesses that he had relapsed back to drinking because of the stress of their divorce. Being stuck in this dangerous situation, along with the weight of their failed relationship, makes them very emotional. They try to contain their emotions the best they can, but tears start to form in both of their eyes. While they are having a tearful conversation, Sophia suddenly remembers the gun. They could have used the gun to get the helicopter's attention, but it is too late now, and they are filled with regret. With nothing left to do, Sophia starts cutting the straps of the shotgun to add length to their lasso. It is a useless attempt, as just the strap will not be able to make the rope as long as they need. Josh says so much, and then tells her to just wait for Marcos to come help. But they are deep inside this vast forest, so Sophia cannot put all of her faith in Marcos alone. While they are arguing, a snake comes crawling in from behind Josh. They try to stay still and let the snake pass, but it keeps coming closer and closer. Josh cannot turn back, so it is up to Sophia to pick up the gun and shoot it. But by the time she manages to free her arm and shoot the snake, it is already too late, as the animal has bitten Josh's hand before fleeing. Sophia jumps into action and ties his arm tightly with the rope, but Josh has already begun to feel the pain of the venom, and he has a maximum of about 6 hours left before he loses his life. The scene skips to the inside of a jail cell where Marcos and the thief are currently being detained. He makes a deal with the thief to reveal what he knows about his friends in exchange for Marcos's heirloom watch. The thief reveals that he didn't kill them, but it is unlikely that they're still alive because the place where they had run to is a hell of quicksands and venomous snakes. Hearing this, Marcos yells at the police officers to let him go because he has to save his friends, but the police remain indifferent to his pleas. Back inside the forest, the poison is quickly spreading throughout Josh's body and has formed a blood clot on his neck. Josh has almost given up, but Sophia refuses to let her husband die so easily. She takes a knife and cuts at the clot on his neck to prevent him from having a stroke. After she successfully completes the crude procedure, Josh faints from the pain, and Sophia faints from the stress. They regain consciousness about an hour later and find that Josh is feeling a little better than before. Even so, his life is not out of danger yet. Sophia is determined to get her husband out of this quicksand and get treated. So she comes up with a new plan. She is going to kill the snake and use its body as a rope. She throws random things to get the snake's attention, and it slowly slithers towards her. As the snake is approaching her from behind, she is not able to take a clean shot at it and ends up wasting the final bullet. So she ditches the gun and grabs the knife, but she is unable to make a move when the snake coils around her and begins strangling her neck. Just as she is fighting against the animal, Josh exerts the last of his strength and stabs the snake to death in one swift move. Sophia wastes no time in skinning the snake. She uses its skin to attach it to the rope, finally making it long enough to reach the tree stump. She throws the rope again and again until finally it is able to wrap around the stump. She crawls out of the quicksand as fast as she can and quickly tries to help Josh get out. But Josh has already been rendered immobile because of the venom and cannot even muster the strength to grab her hand. Left with no other choice, she stumbles through the forest with her weak body to try to find someone who could help her husband. It is almost nighttime when she manages to reach the road in her delirious state. By a miraculous coincidence, Marcos arrives in time with an ambulance and a search team. They quickly run into the forest to search for Josh, and Sophia silently keeps staring in their direction, hoping to find news of her husband. The movie ends on a happy note as Josh is brought out of the forest in a stretcher. He is alive and conscious, which is a huge relief to Sophia as she eagerly steps forward to give him a kiss. Hopefully, this ordeal would mark the beginning of another phase of their relationship as they let go of old grudges and start anew. Subscribe for more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.